taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Laws of Empowering Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Blanca, the founder of the Laws of Life platform, and this is my incredible co-host, Natan Blanca, founder of the Essential Academy. How are you, Natan?
I'm doing wonderful, my dear. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to be alive
You should
and
be.
and to be healthy. And wow,
Should
I
be.
mean, right? We just got to be grateful to be alive.
There's
And we
millions of people that aren't today. Literally. Oops.
This is very, very true. I will tell you, I did an experiment. And for, I guess, about 4 weeks, I just let myself eat whatever I wanted.
Okay.
And I was a little mischievous. I smoked whatever I wanted. I drank whatever I wanted.
Okay.
I basically just
It
let my
sounds like you were actually at my house. You're sitting on my couch. So you've been preparing yourself. Wonderful.
I
Good.
did that
Okay.
for a couple of weeks. And I
Okay.
just want you to know that now the last 2 weeks I've been eating healthy, exercising, did a 6 mile walk this morning. I've lived both sides of the fence, right? Complete permission to be undisciplined, and then
Hedonistic.
that hedonistic versus self-discipline.
Pleasure,
And,
self-discipline.
and
Okay.
I've,
And
I've come to the conclusion that self-discipline is a happier place for me because when I sleep better, when I'm healthier, last night, food tastes better when you're self-disciplined. Last night I experienced a dish that I've never had in my life. It was called tomato tartare. Tomato tartare at Cafe La Europe in Palm Beach.
what's in that? Well,
Ju-
obviously there's tomatoes, but is there meat? Is there fish? Is there,
It
what are we talking
Well,
about?
no,
No
no. It
proteins?
was just a
Is it
little
vegan?
bit of greens, and it was a tomato that was completely just like tuna tartare. It
Right.
tasted like tuna tartare, but it was a tomato.
Because somebody would call
And
that a salad normally, but that sounds crazy that it tastes like a tuna. No,
it
no.
was we have to learn how to make that dish.
Yeah.
And that dish was so delightful on the
How fun.
palate
How
and
fun.
so lovely on the stomach, and I felt so good after that tomato tartare. So I'm just saying I vote for health. I've also applied as a practice daily gratitude, daily affirmation, which I've been doing. All these tools, the energy healing that you offer. Now give us a tool that you use to stay energized today. What's your energy tip of the day?
Oof. Energy tip for the day.
And Laura Let Kenny says, "Good morning." While
Hey,
you're thinking
everybody.
of that,
Thank you. And Carolyn. Oh, this is awesome.
Carolyn
Awesome.
Raymond says that my tomato tartare is crazy. Oh, it was
Yes.
crazy, Carolyn. And
It's
we
awesome.
all need tomato tartare in our life. I'm telling you.
I'm going to Google it as soon as we're done this call. I swear to gosh.
Well, what it really boils down to is self love. I have been whining and dining myself, spoiling myself. I've been really on vacation this week,
I like
and
that.
we've been having a wonderful time.
You know what? And this is going to, my law of life for today will lead into what we're talking about and who we're speaking to, which is such a hugely unique individual.
Mm.
My law of life for today would be that people don't buy when they understand. They buy when they feel understood.
Ooh. Ooh, I like that.
So for
I'm gonna
somebody in that context, and that's why I talk about Eco being such an incredibly unique individual, that he need they need to be understood in that context. And all the way to the point that people who use different pronouns. For me, I grew up in a time when I didn't have different pronouns and different ways to express different people and stuff. So grammatically, I'm screwed. I do not have the right way to make that look right. So I found the most beautiful workaround. Anybody that we work with, especially people in the LGBTQT community and such like that, anybody in different spectrums, anyone on different areas like that. Anytime we work with that, if there are different pronouns that you don't know or that you grammatically think you're not going to be capable of to speak and you're just going to screw up, just use their name. That's the easy secret of that. So when I'm in that place, when I'm like, I don't know how to use they, them, and still grammatically come out with a sentence that sounds like I'm not an immigrant, then I need to just use that. That's the easiest way that I do it. And so I'm going to introduce you guys and girls to somebody very, very, very unique. I'm going to introduce you to Eco. He's known as the Wandering Love Mystic. He uses the they, them pronouns. He's the founder of Enlightened Consent Foundation. It's a nonprofit, and it creates sacred sanctuary spaces for people to explore their sexual identities, intimate desires without being blamed or shamed or told what they can or can't do. He's a two-time internationally best-selling author, love and relationship books, Sexy Secrets to a Juicy Love Life.
What?
Real- Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm bringing
This is
you
all
Ignite.
new to me. I had no idea that Eco was such a interesting individual.
Wait, it gets deeper and more fun. Now, a couple days ago, he just launched their new coaching program, Autistic Dating Success. So it's for people on the autistic spectrum that are confused by dating, so they
Is
can
he
create.
autistic or not?
Hmm? He's
Okay.
very high functioning, and so for he's on the autistic scale, and for the last 19 years, he's learned how to create romantic relationships and be in that space to be able to help and guide and coach others from feeling hopeless and unlovable and confused to how to date when you're autistic and on the spectrum. So there is categorically no one that I brought you that is as unique and as fun as we get to have right now today with Eco.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a no wow for sure. I bring the thunder.
Oh, wow. Um, well, I think we should bring him to the stage.
Let's bring him.
All right. Eco, welcome, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Blanca and Natan. I'm honored to be on your show today, and thank you for the platform and the stage for being able to introduce myself to your people.
You're very welcome. Well, I guess the very first question I have is how did you get the name Eco, the Wandering Love Mystic?
Oh, beautiful question. So the eco part started about 5 years ago when I started to identify as being queer, gender fluid instead of just cis male, and was starting to embrace my feminine side as well. And I was at a spiritual retreat where I was describing to a person my vision of bringing enlightened consent to the world. And the message of as long as the people that are directly involved are consenting and honoring your existing relationship agreements, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or feels about what you're choosing to do. And then the guy who I was talking to paused for a minute and went, enlightened consent, eco. It popped into my head as ICO. I started to try that out as a name to go by. A couple months later, I was with a lover of mine. She introduced me to a friend of hers, and she said, "This is Eco. Their name is spelled ICO." And he went, ICO, incredibly caring organism. That resonated with me on a heart and souls level. And I decided to adopt that's what eco stood for and have been using it since then. The wandering love mystic part started a couple of years ago, back in September 2001, where I was unexpectedly invited by my housemates to move out of the place that I was living in, not being a good fit for that particular household. And instead of panicking and scrambling to find another place to go and live, what the divine brought to me was this idea of me stepping forward into the traveling and make the impact in the world I always wanted to by just wandering around from place to place as this wandering love mystic, bringing my message of enlightened consent forward to the world.
That's wonderful. That's well, you're truly a person that's open to all possibilities. And that's amazing. I love it. I love it.
Well, add to that now the magic that if you know Trent is our chief strategy officer and he's the webmaster and creator of Essential Academy 2.0 on our architectural technical side. There was only one person that he said, I need my right hand. I need somebody that can come and help and bring and support all the mission and all the people that we serve and who we're coming after and who we support. And there was only one person, period, that he brought over, and that was Eco. And
Wow.
in that context, we focused on putting aces in their places and making sure that we could utilize best people in the best place. So Eco is our onboarding captain. He's also an accountability coach for each and every person that comes into the Essential Academy because
Wow. So he's a big part of your team. I mean, he's
it
become
really is. He's the beginning. He's the middle. He keeps it going for you. It's and they them is something that really focuses on that, so that they can support that journey as you go down. If we're looking at somebody coming into the Essential Academy, first thing they're going to have to do is fill out, all their onboarding form, their names and their links and stuff, so that we can set all that up on your background and you don't have to. Second thing is your goals. Why are you here? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to get? What do you identify as success? How do we know if we win? Like, how do we do that? We got to be clear. We got to be open. We got to be honest. We got to do that now. So you do that. And Blanca, you're coming in, you fill out your goal sheet. And the first person who's going to be running through that with you is Eco, because he's going to onboard you after we technically set you up. And then a couple weeks later, at the end of every month, Eco's going to be working with you to make sure that you are keeping true to your goals, not his, not mine, not ours, not theirs, no one, yours. You said you want to do this, you want to accomplish this in this period of time. How close are we? What's missing? What can we do? How can we support? How can we help? That's why it's such an incredible team.
I love the team that you're building. And Eco has, such a beautiful sense of patience. He has the professional skills to help people get boarded, to feel accountable. So that's amazing. So, for those of you who don't know, Natan is the founder of the Essential Academy, where you can host your own course, create a course, and have that course on the Essential Academy platform. Just like I have my course, The Self Powered Entrepreneur. And currently, that course is 50% off. It's normally 6,000. The course is 50% off at 3,000. Now, in order to successfully market a course, Natan has developed a new program to help you do that. So, Eco is part of that team, creating the funnels and the landing pages to drive traffic so that people buy your course, so that you can create an automated form of revenue in the digital world that we now live in. So, Eco, what does that boarding conversation look like? And what are you seeing as a common challenge of entrepreneurs today?
That is a great question, and I'm honored that I get to be a part of this new iteration of the Essential Academy. And with that, part of a passion of mine for the past couple of years, and what I wanted to do when I founded my own nonprofit a couple of years ago, was to help put forth fundamental business practices for struggling entrepreneurs, especially those that were relationship coaches and those who are more of my woo-woo type people, like Natan, who does wonderful stuff with energy. And one of the things that I've noticed just in general with those who are in the love and relationship realm, for example, is that they are getting, they frankly suck at marketing. They're getting kicked off of their platforms because their sexual content, and that they're having a struggle being able to actually earn a living going and following this calling. So one of the things that I'm looking to go and do is to be able to help provide these fundamental business structures in place that a lot of entrepreneurs are missing, provide safer platforms for them to get their messages out into the world, and really empower them to begin earning a living off of their passion and calling. Bottom line, so they can make the impact and difference that they want to in the world.
That's wonderful. Well, it makes it so much easier when you do have someone to hold your hand and help you through the process. So we're going to just take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. If you want to have your own show, and having a show also known as a webcast, and a webcast is a show like this with video. A show with audio only is a podcast. I clarify because people often ask me this question. But if you want your own webcast or podcast, the Laws of Life can produce that for you. And we can distribute that show to 137 channels, including our Laws of Life Roku channel. And all of the course that you create on the Essential Academy, you can then promote within that webcast or the podcast. You can then take the funnels that Natan and Eco are building for you and continue to promote sponsorship of your show, continue to sell your digital course, and truly share your expertise with the world. And it really does take a team to do it. And in the Self-Powered Entrepreneur course, I teach you how to build your fundamental platform. A platform requires pillars. It requires social media. It requires email. It requires webcasting, podcasting, digital coursing, and Eco and Natan are really helping the spine of this process. And that's why our two platforms work so beautifully together, because we teach you different elements that you need to become successful. So I want to wish everybody who's watching a wonderful good morning. You're watching the Laws of Empowering Entrepreneurs. And if you'd like to have your own show or be a guest on our show, drop me a DM and let us know. And we're here with Eco, who's part of the onboarding team of Natan. So Natan, what ignited you to add this process to your platform?
I was always trying to serve. And at one point, you go out there and you really try to make that clear to everybody that, hey, there's commonalities that we're all going through. We're all experiencing this. I've been online. I've been online during the pandemic, before the pandemic, in the middle of it, at the end of it. It feels very different. The people that were there beforehand, they did never experience or believe that there could be so many people coming in when the pandemic stopped and like the whole world just shut down and everyone stayed home. Nobody could go to work and everything just stopped. There was a lot of people coming online. You all of a sudden thought that, hey, you know what? I put up a workshop or a webinar or a networking summit group on a Tuesday at 1 in the afternoon. I'm going to have 200 people there. And you could. And you didn't know anything about anything, but it didn't matter because it would work. But a couple of years later, a lot of people going back to work, a lot of people spent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars online from these gurus trying to learn how to learn a system or a process, how to make a thing. And then it didn't work for them because it didn't resonate with them. And it didn't ring true and it wasn't connected to what they like to do. Like, you ask yourself, Blanca, if you didn't get paid one single dollar for what it is that you do right now, would you still do it?
Yes.
Then you're doing the right thing. It's that easy. If you're
I'm
doing something right
definitely
now and you
I'm
don't,
definitely living my purpose. There's no question that the adversity, the closed doors that I went through led me to the current path. Because I would have never had the guts to do what I'm doing now if the door hadn't been closed. But now I'm going to do both. I'm going to continue to practice law and I'm going to continue to pursue my dream of being the next Oprah and continuing to run my television network, The Laws of Life, and continuing to bring people together.
so
But
then
most
bring everything in your world to its highest level. If you
100%.
want to be a lawyer only at the highest level, you only get to touch that at this point.
But
You
I
wanna-
want to leverage your platform in the legal context too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun.
I want to create a course on how to create your own operating agreement, tips on, I want to do a course on how to write your own operating
Yes.
agreement, your partnership agreement.
Yes.
And then I want you and Eco to run the funnels on that course, right?
Mhm.
I just want to, there's only so much we can do.
Yes.
I'm a content creator, I'm a marketer, but even I need help. Even I'm the author of a course that teaches the fundamental pillars
Yes.
of building a platform, but
Yes.
I still need Eco and Natan because I don't have to all day to run funnels. I need Eco to do
Is
that.
that what you do? Is that your specialty? Is that your
No, it's
magic?
not you can't be good at everything. My specialty is webcasting, podcasting, social media, and law. Funnels are not my expertise. That's why I turned to you and Eco for that. So, Eco, what's the key? Let's go back to some basics. Let's reset the room. What is the key to the boarding of a good funnel? What's the fundamental puzzle piece of a good funnel? Talk to me.
Excellent question. For a funnel, a good thing is what you want to do is have the end in mind. What is it that you're actually looking to accomplish with your funnel? Like, for example, one of the funnels that I've created uh, for my own program that I just launched, I went into starting out with I have a free giveaway with 3 tips for how to have a better understanding about how relationships work. That leads into inviting them into having uh, a 30-minute call with me. Once they go through that, they also get to get into a little bit more information about my new autistic dating program as well. So it kind of leads down that progression of going from free giveaway to doing a discovery call to here's about my paid program that even before you talk to me, you could potentially self opt into and actually pay for.
I like that.
Does that make sense?
I like it. So, in other words, you're helping stack. Well, I had an idea for a new opening offer today. As I go into Clubhouse, as I go into rooms,
Okay.
as I meet new people, because the mission of my platform is empowerment, global elevation of all, global elevation for all. How about that?
Okay. I like that. I
Mhm.
like that.
That just came to me. I'm going to write that down. I was thinking of just doing a free course on how to elevate others, the love, comment, share principle, how to
Right.
share a room on Clubhouse, how to share a
Right.
live stream, how to share a restream, and
So
just basically do a sharing course that they
look
could
at
watch.
that, Blanca. Instead of taking the word course, because you came from Essential Academy 1.0,
Mm-hmm.
where because you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And everything we had to call was a course. If I wanted to say, hey, we sell cappuccino cups now. Ooh, would you like one? It's a course. You want to come to one of our events? The tickets to come to the event, it's a course. When you're on a learning management system, you're stuck with whatever the heck they do. And we're taking round pegs into square holes, and it never, ever perfectly fit. Now that we're coming to Essential Academy 2.0, we get to fine tune this so we don't have to use the same jargon and words and nomenclature and all that stuff. We can take a look and say, Blanca, why on earth would you want to make that a course? That's not a course, that's a
So
workshop.
what is it? It's a
It's a
workshop.
workshop. It's
Okay,
a 40
fine.
it's a
It's a
45
workshop.
minute preview event workshop. So
But
what
I
we
don't
do,
want to be, I'm going to pre-record it and they can just watch it on automatic, right?
here's the cool part. The first one, no. The first one you record live with real people. And
Okay.
then afterwards, replay it.
Okay.
Evergreen forever, so that people feel like this wasn't you sitting in your living room recording an event that isn't an event, that's just you recording you. But
Okay.
meanwhile, if you actually have people interact and come in, I don't care if it's 1, 2,
Will
3,
you
4,
come
5,
to my workshop, Eco and Natan? Are you guys going to be there?
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'd love to go and support you with your event.
I would support you as well,
Yay!
Blanca. I will support you.
Mwah.
Ooh, we got an amazing question in the chat. This coming from Carolyn Eco. Can you help autistic people further on the spectrum getting assistance with dating?
Yes, and this is part of the uh, journey that I went through after being officially diagnosed on the autistic spectrum. Just a couple years ago when I was the age of 38, because most of my life I didn't even know I was on the spectrum.
Wow.
Wow.
Though in my 20s, several people theorized that I may be on the spectrum, though it wasn't until my late 30s where I was actually open to the idea after doing 15 years of personal growth work and noticing I was still missing some, fundamental kind of stuff like being able to pick up and read the room in large in-person group situations.
Wow.
And after being diagnosed, while part of me mourns that, well, okay, there's like no parts of me that are like normal in any way, shape, or form. What I did see as a silver lining as me being able to authentically stand up for the autistic community and saying, "Hi, I believe that people within the autistic community, regardless of where you are in the spectrum, are worthy, capable, and deserving of healthy, loving, consensual romantic relationships." And this is one of the things that I'm standing for in my program of autistic dating success.
Hmm.
So,
I love it.
wherever you happen to be on the spectrum, or if you happen to be otherwise neurodiverse, I invite you to have a conversation with me about seeing if it's a good fit. We are going to be starting the first week of the program this coming Monday on the 13th, just before Valentine's Day.
How cool.
That's real. So, how did being diagnosed change your life?
Great question. So, in getting the diagnosis, it helped make sense for a lot of the things of why I struggled in certain areas in my life and didn't even know that I had a deficiency for, or what was causing this difference. I always knew that I was different from most other people. I just didn't have kind of an explanation of why. And learning that I'm on the autistic spectrum. I am high functioning and low needs, which is why it took so long for me to get diagnosed. And what actually had me really take a look at it and be willing to entertain the idea was I watched a TED talk by a woman who's on the autistic spectrum, and she was explaining how a concept known as masking of which is a common thing that a lot of autistic people do, trying to go and fit into the normal world, especially since the feminine is taught how to please and to go and fit in. That often the feminine bodied people don't get diagnosed until like much later in life when it comes to autism. It's like a lot of the challenges she went and described, it was like, yeah, that's my lived life experience. Maybe I'm actually on the autistic spectrum myself.
Wow.
Did you have you taken and educate me because I don't know a lot about autism. Are
Hmm.
you are you taking any medication now, or you're just learning some new strategies to address it, or has it changed your practices?
What I can say is that one, autism is not a disease, and that there's nothing actually broken or wrong with a neurodivergent person's brain. There are other neurodivergent things like ADHD. They're like managed with like medications. Though autism itself is not a disease, our brains are just hardwired a little bit differently. There was a mentor of mine who brought forth this idea that um, people who are on the autism spectrum are kind of hardwired to be more authentic to themselves, and that no matter how much the world may try to force us to conform to do things, the way the world wants us to go and do, our autistic minds just aren't going to go and let it compute. And I'll give you the analogy of like, yeah, you're having an upset over there that I'm not conforming to the way you think I should be doing things. I'm going to be here doing myself and doing my own thing. And you can go figure out you and, be okay with me actually just being different. And meanwhile, I'm going to be here authentic to myself.
I love it. Well, I love what you've done in terms of helping those with autism have dating success. And if anyone wants to book a time with Ego to learn more about that, about success, then you can book a time. I've put the link on the screen, createyourideallovelife.com/dating. And I love, Natan, how you have Ego as your team member on the boarding marketing side for course creators in the academy, but also helping him promote his own passion and his own interests and helping him build his own platform. And I think it's really beautiful how you do that. You're just very, very
Diversity and inclusion
generous.
are a bunch of fun things that a lot of people talk about, but if you're not actively engaging in that, if you're not actively promoting that, if you're not skin in the game, working with people and helping them promote themselves, not just using them to promote yourself.
That's how, see, in the corporate world, you can only talk about the corporation, but in the entrepreneurial world, we can all talk about each other. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things I didn't like about the corporate world. It was
Yeah.
so rigid. I
Yeah.
mean, God forbid you spoke of anything but the corporate goal. You were banished. So no, Eco, it's amazing. I love the multitude of interests. And are you going to be creating a course as well on the autistic dating topic? Will there be a course coming out of this?
Yeah, the autistic dating success is a full course. It is an 8-week long course that helps people go from I don't even know how to begin to go on date to I am confident that I know how to start a romantic relationship.
That's amazing. You know what? Now that I'm single, I could actually do a course on online dating, the do's and don'ts. I was in a clubhouse room last night for an hour and a half, and
You know what,
everyone,
Blanca? In terms of sensitivity training, if you were sensitive enough to be able to go through this and it still resonated with you, I can almost assure you that any other human being that you would speak to, you would then resonate with them.
I like it. Hey, I want to you ignited something today for me, Eco. I think it's unintentional, but it's appreciated. You talk a lot about how you're in touch with the feminine energy. You talk about the description of feminine versus masculine energy. How does those two types of energy play into dating as you see it?
Great question. And a lot of people who work with dating, they go with the typical manly male masculine and the the more flowy feminine energies. And something that I've come to recognize and honor is that we, on a spiritual level, and Natan, you can back me up on being an energy woo person yourself, have all within us. We all have masculine, we all have feminine. Whatever, and whatever you choose to identify with and choose to go and flow with, that's great. If you're like, I'm a guy and only a guy, awesome. If you're like, I'm a woman, only a woman, great. And there are people that are trans who are like, yes, I was born into this masculine body. I'm actually really strongly identify feminine. Or there are those who born into a feminine body who are like, no, I actually really identify as a man. Great. And there are those who are like myself being like, yeah, I'm an all. I'm like I'm both masculine. And feminine. I'm identify as queer, gender fluid, and at times I present masculine. At other times I present feminine. And it's about what feels right to you as the individual, what is authentic to yourself. And once again, going back to one of the core premises of enlightened consent, as long as you and the people you're directly involved with are consenting and you're honoring your existing relationship agreements, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or feels about what you're choosing to do. Same thing applies in business if you want to think about it in business relationships and agreements and partnerships. Those that are in the partnership within the business, as long as you're consenting and agreeing to it and you're honoring those agreements that you've made between each other, it doesn't matter what anyone else outside of those agreements actually think or feel about what you're choosing to do and bring forth into the world.
I like that. I like that. You're very, very profound. Wonderful. Um, Natan, what's your assessment of how do you think in the dating world people should stick to the traditional definitions of masculine and feminine energy? Do
Oh
you
my
agree
goodness.
with Ego's alternative?
So let's, you know what? We're in a safe place. Yeah.
100%.
Let me
Can't
share a
couldn't be.
funny.
I don't think it could be any safer, darling.
So let me share something I've never shared.
Okay.
When I came to Montreal from Calgary, Alberta, and Calgary, Alberta is literally the Texas of Canada. So you're talking about cowboy hats and rodeos and that hardcore, muy macho, masculine energy thing. I come to Montreal, which is like the most European city in North America. Bars close at 3 o'clock. There's no English writing anywhere. You tap a bus driver on the shoulder and say, "Hey, man, how do I get to this place?" He's like, you're like, "Oh, crap. I can't even get home now. Oh, my God." You are in another world. If you don't speak French, you're in another planet.
Really?
Montreal is not playing around. It is what it is. And so I come here, I'm like 18. My parents are trying to figure out, you know what? We're not quite sure where do we want to live yet. Before we buy a house, we need to figure out the real estate and what the areas are and what works like, right? Like people who need to do this properly. So instead, we're just going to stay in this hotel for a couple of months, figure this out. And it's right downtown. So I'm downtown as a 19, 20-year-old kid. I'm thinking, hey, you can go downtown and literally, I come from a place that's just like a cowboy town. We've got one avenue called Electric Avenue. There's 12 bars. Montreal has bars 26 miles long, Blanca. It is the longest strip of bars in the human gosh darn world. It's epic. You can't bar hop. It's physically impossible. You'll die. So this is where I come from. And I said to myself, I'm just going to walk down the street. And the first place that sounds good, I'm going to go into. And there was this awesome, this is like late 90s, right? So there's like some really cool techno music bouncing out of this one. And I'm like, yeah, that place looks good. I didn't look up at the sign, which said KOX. And I'm like, huh, maybe that's a French word. No, Blanca, it wasn't. KOX stood for Cox. I did not read that correctly. Walked in. And so there's a 6'5" black man in a blonde wig and a dress. And he looks at me and he says, $20 cover charge. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just came from Calgary, Alberta. There's no goddamn cover charge. What are you talking about? He's like, hey, man, you want to come in here? It's $20. I'm like, you know what? I have no clue what the hell I'm in for. Here's my $20. So I walk in. I look around. I'm in the first level. And I'm looking around, and it's this giant dance floor. Madonna, if you've ever heard of the Black and Blue Festival, that's in Montreal. That's how hardcore this is. This is the second largest LGBTQ community like next to San Francisco. This is it worldwide. This is number 2. I didn't know any of that. So I walk in and all of a sudden I see only guys. And I'm like, that's okay. And I go into the dance floor and I'm walking around and I'm dancing around and this thing feels good. And then I notice there's this couple of cages. And I'm thinking to myself, this might be the safest thing to go to. So I go into the cages. And so now I'm one of the guys dancing in the cage, and I realize this may be difficult. This may not be exactly what I was thinking. And at that point, I've had like a couple beers. I got to go pee. So I get out of the cage and I go and I ask somebody, I'm like, hey, man, where's the bathroom? And this guy in full leather drag looks at me and says, are you gay or straight? And I said, why on earth would that matter when I asked you where the hell the bathroom is? And he's like, if you go up to the third floor, women only. If you go down to the basement, men only. But here in the middle, mix for everybody to play. And I was like, this is cool. This is crazy. This is like, whoo. So it was the most insane, intense, craziest thing that you've been exposed to. And you're coming from like, the Texas, where you're not used to seeing any of that. And you come into that exposure. So I shared that exposure and that story because it was so wow, just eye opening and just really incredible.
Was it a sex club?
Oh gosh, no. This was you're looking at about 10, 15,000 people in one place on a Friday night. You're looking at upstairs with 3, 4, 5,000 women.
So it
Maybe
was just basically a club.
it was a dance club, yeah.
So you could decide who you wanted to dance with. So if you went on the basement floor, it was men that were gay. The middle floor was men and women, and the top floor was only women. So it was three levels of sexual preference, basically, is what you're saying.
It was, but it's not like it's a madame house. It was a dancing house. So it
Right.
was different levels of music.
It was
Yeah,
basically
it was different levels of music. It was
a
different
three-part
vibes.
dance club.
Yeah.
So you danced in the middle part, the
Uh-huh.
heterosexual.
Uh-huh.
And did anything happen that night that we should be aware of?
Not that I know of. Not that I should be aware. It was crazy. It was interesting. It was only when I noticed where I'm at that I'm like, this does not seem usual to me. I'm like, dude, none of this seems usual to you. And that was
So
okay. That was so okay because I was like, I'm a happy guy. This is fine.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
There was nothing weird. There was nothing odd. There was just okay. It was very open. It was very accepting. It was very inviting. I went into from a place from a guy who had no damn
Rob,
clue what the hell was going on. I'm like,
we have a new listener from LinkedIn, Rob
right
Hose.
on. There you go. Yes.
And Rob's been really open and authentic. And I want to thank you, Rob, for watching. He shared that he is on the
Thank you,
spectrum
Rob.
of autism. And he says that he went to a bar like that, reminds him of his bar experience in Amsterdam. And Rob, we have a really amazing community. I invite you to connect with Natan and myself on LinkedIn since you're coming in from LinkedIn, and also to join our Tuesday summit where we network on Tuesdays at 11. We network on Wednesdays at 11, and we do our show Thursdays at 11. We also have tomorrow night a new program that Natan is starting. It's Friday nights with Natan, 7:30 to 8:15. Mental massage, energy healing, a minimal donation of $15, but sure to elevate you. And we really want to get to know you and see this is an example of how webcasting brings new relationships. That's how I've made a lot of my friends through webcasting. And it's a
Blanca
beautiful,
has like
beautiful thing.
5 digits of friends just for fun, and 6 digits of friends expanded. So when she says a lot,
Wait
it
till
means a
you
lot.
wait. Well, it's Eastern. Everything we do, Rob, is on Eastern time zone. And you can also go to my Facebook page, The Laws of Life with Blanca, and follow me there. Follow the Essential Academy, and also follow me on Instagram, which is Blanca Laws of Life. And the reason by following me is you'll be reminded of all of the events that Natan and I do together. So you want to follow the laws of life. You want to follow the Essential Academy. And if you want to subscribe, drop me a DM to
Blanca,
your
isn't that beautiful? Do you know? And I put all the ego in the world aside.
yeah.
Do you know anyone else who's doing what you're doing? Do you know anyone else who's doing what I'm doing? Do you know anyone else who's doing what Eco's doing? I
To
don't.
you know what? I think that we are blessed that our purpose is to bring people together. That's fine. Then just Rob, just drop your email in the chat, and I'll add you to our email subscription list, and you'll get an email reminder of all of the events that we do. So even if you're not on social media a lot, we are happy to just drop you an email. So feel free to DM me your email, Rob, and we'll add you to our email list. And the other thing is, this is a very interactive community. We talk about business. We become true friends. Rob is an autism spectrum coach. So Eco would be a great connection for you with his course. You should definitely connect with Eco, connect with Natan, connect with me,
Oh,
and
cool.
Joanne. Oh, look at this. Joanne DeGroot Nichols has tuned in and said she wants to be added to the email list. We'll be honored to do that, Joanna, and drop and tell us what you do. How wonderful that Rob has a connection to Eco, right? And how wonderful it is that every week we have a different guest that draws in and attracts different connections. And what I've been saying since I've started this platform in November of 16 is it doesn't matter what you do. Yes, I'm an attorney. Whether you're an attorney, a doctor, a dentist, an autism spectrum coach, an author, whatever you do, we're all humans and we all need one another, and we all know someone that knows someone, and we all have the power to help each other and globally elevate the mission of each other. And so, Rob, by becoming part of this community, we're going to elevate you. We're going to elevate you, Joanne. We're going to help your social media blow up. We're going to help you get shares. We're going to help more friends see more friends. That's what we want. We want to be seen, just like Eco's being seen today. Joanna says she has two children on the spectrum, ASD and ADHD, plus her husband and herself. So, Eco, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, Joanna. Eco, do you know Joanna, or is she one of your connections, or is she a brand new friend that's just tuning in because she's connected to this topic? Do you know her?
I think it's a new connection.
Amazing. Well,
Amazing.
Joanna, thank you for tuning in. And again, I really think that, if you do have two children, and it's also, maybe Eco's program could help you. I don't know how old your children are, but if they're going to be dating, I think that Eco's course could really benefit a lot of people because,
Oh, cool.
it's not an easy thing to do. And again, for all our new friends, we've got the Tuesday summit at 11, the Wednesday summit at 11, today's show at 11, and we've also got our Friday new program with Natan 7:30 to 8:15 where he's doing mental massage, he's doing energy healing, and that is a minimal donation of $15. All of our other events are free. And Rob says he met Eco many years ago, but he doesn't remember where. Okay, well, that's good.
Neat. How cool
So
is that?
they'll be
I'm
dating.
very happy to
Okay.
reconnect with Rob.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And for those who have children that are on the autism spectrum that are not yet getting into dating, I would recommend that you get my 3 tips to better understanding relationships, which can both help you to connect to your autistic child as well as get you onto my list so you can be in touch with when I do go and develop, as I've been asked by a few people at this point, to actually create a course for parents of autistic children so they can have the sex talk with their autistic child in a way that actually makes sense to them.
I think that is amazing. I think that you have so much brilliance and experience within you, and your experience could help so many parents. I think that is amazing, Eco. And I think it's just the beginning of your journey. And I can't wait to keep watching how you influence the world and impact the world. And it's really been a pleasure to have you as a guest today. And Eco, where can people follow you on social media? How can we follow you?
Sure. So first off, if you want to go and get those tips, go to createyourideallovelife.com /tips, TIPS. The website for my nonprofit is enlightenedconsent.org. You can find me on Facebook with Eco Edward Fish, or you can do a search for Enlightened Consent Foundation. You can also find me under Eco Edward Fish or by searching Enlightened Consent on um, on LinkedIn. You can also find me under Enlightened Consent on Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok under that handle of Enlightened Consent.
All right. And you know what I think
The
you should
branding
get?
you want to
Eco, you
add
need to
to
get
it.
yourself a link tree, bro. You need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get yourself a link tree with all your links Just one link then takes them to all the links, but I love
That's
it.
true.
I've posted a lot of your links, my darling
At
friend.
least you've been branding on the same pattern. That's bravo. Good for you.
enlightenedconsent.org, create your ideal love life.com/tips, follow eco. And Rob said he'd like to be a guest on the laws of empowering entrepreneurs. We can make that happen, Rob. You can send me an email to
We do have
Blanca.
that application form to apply, Blanca. That's right.
Yes, we do. So send me an email to Blanca at lawsoflife.shop and we'll send you the application form to be a guest on our show. And what can I say? It's already 12 o'clock. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you again, Eco, for inspiring so many new listeners to come in today. So many new friendships blossoming because of your gifts. And Natan, thank you for all you do to make our world more beautiful through digital education, through the marketing of our course creators. And I hope that everybody stays inspired and remembers that we've got to climb the mountain together. We are human, so you must stay connected. You must put yourself in rooms. You must form friendships. This is how you stay healthy as a human, guys. Don't ever stop connecting and join us Tuesdays at 11, Wednesdays at 11, Thursdays at 11, and Natan's newest program Fridays
I will see
7:30.
everybody tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night is the night. And I've put the landing page in the chat. I will put it, it's down at the bottom, Essential Academy /relaxation, or just send Natan a DM. Get into that meeting. That is a minimal donation of $15. It's a mental massage energy elevation. You will not be sorry to join. I hope everybody has an amazing Thursday. And remember, you're never alone. Keep staying empowered. We love you guys. Have a great day. And Natan, anything else you want to say before I sign off?
Oh, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for everybody. Thank you for adding so many different colors to our rainbow. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Love you, love you.
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet.